Welcome to This Could Be It. You know, most of us are trying to live well in a world that doesn't tell us how. And we're just trying to figure out what that actually looks like, one conversation at a time. Today, we're diving into a quickie.
Welcome to the This Could Be a Quickie. Today, we are going to talk about bucket lists. Good, bad, should they be buried alive? Are they actually helpful for living? Or is it actually an indication that we really are already flatlined? I don't know. We're going to solve this in the quickie that we're here for today, aren't we, Mike?
Yeah. I guess you could say bucket lists. Are they just it lists? Yeah. Okay.
I like how
That was,
modest you are there. By the way,
I know.
did you know that quote should be attributed to Jerry Seinfeld?
Really?
He was quoted as saying, "Here's what I think about bucket lists. I just changed the B to an F and call it a day."
Wow. Okay. So I ripped off Jerry Seinfeld. Comedians do not like it when you steal their jokes. So I think I'm in big trouble. I've got a limited amount of time to live. I should figure out what I want to do before I kick the bucket, right? I should, right?
I mean, it does sound noble, but you sound like you're going toward, yeah, but.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld's going to off me. That's what I heard you say.
Yeah, exactly. Because don't you find when you ask people about the bucket list topic, which I tend to bring up a lot, because
Yeah.
it's sort of like part of the brand that I like to talk about, I find I get like two reactions. There are people who are raring to go, like they want to tell you, they want to show you their PowerPoint, or there are some people that appear a little bit panicked. Do you
Yeah.
see that, feel that? Yeah?
No one ever brings it up to me.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't think they think that's something that I maybe take seriously, or because I'm obviously so youthful. I have so many years to get through before I finally do get to
Reach middle
exercise
age.
the bucket. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't think people think I don't think they think I engage with bucket lists. I'm not sure why
Okay.
they do.
Fascinating, because it could indicate that people don't care about you or your life. That could be
You
one
forgot
possibility.
about that explanation. Right.
Number two, you said something like they don't think you would take it seriously, which I think there's an undercurrent there because you're a researcher. Did
Yeah,
you just reveal your honest to gosh truth that I actually don't know about, by the way? Like anybody listening right now?
yeah.
Mike, do you not believe in bucket lists? What's the story?
So I not believe in bucket lists. Like I feel like what like really did the movie starring I can't remember who and the other person,
Morgan Freeman, Jack
Morgan
Nicholson, maybe?
Freeman. Could have been him, could have been Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is in all those movies, it seems like. Um, Jimmy Stewart, it could have been.
Yeah.
Maybe Channing Tatum. I mean, who knows? You just put maybe, I mean, I'm sure they were fantastic. Remember Morgan Freeman, of course, but some white guy, I guess. Probably old enough to be worried about kicking the bucket. And then
Yeah.
now we all have to do it. Like that seems bonkers to me. Like I really don't like it. I just reject immediately when pop culture tells me I need to start doing something.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a definite through line for you. Okay, but what what if there wasn't a popular movie?
Yeah.
And what if we were just having a conversation of, hey, our time's limited. You already named that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be valuable to somehow capture our goals and dreams and hopes so that we might be accountable? Would that be enticing
Yeah.
to you?
You know, my best guess would be, and I would go off on this, explore this more, but we are having a quickie with everybody right now. So we have to get straight to the point. My best guess is this would be what we would call secondary coping,
Mm,
right? Where thinking about something makes it seem as if we're doing something. So
yes.
thinking about all the things we would do if time was really short, even though we already know it is, we create a list. It makes us
Mhm.
feel like we've sorted something out.
Mm.
And then we move on to going back to regular life without anything changing. That would be my suspicion, just coming
Yeah.
at this from someone who, as you pointed out, no one cares about, nor will they talk to me. So I don't know any actual humans, according to my lovely co host, but I've studied them from afar, perhaps, and they seem
Mhm.
to do stuff like that all the time.
Okay, well, for the record, I am going to be asking you about what might be on if you were forced to write a bucket list, what would be on it. I want to not lose the plot about what you just said about this secondary coping stuff, because you're highlighting something that I have disdain for. So even though I will ask people about bucket lists, and it should be something I like, I am highly suspicious of them as well,
Yeah.
and I think that we're gonna wrap this quickie up, like, super quickie fast, but I think there's a place for them, so I'm not gonna shit all over them, but I will piss all over them by saying. I'm gonna change that.
I don't think you can. That seems so natural.
No,
Or
I'm not gonna say
your
that.
2 reactions to things in life are shitting on them or pissing on them. Presumably, those are even things that you like. I don't know. Who's the
No,
negative one now,
I could
Jody?
have said spat on them, I could spit on them. I'm not a spitter either. I'm not going to shit all over bucket lists, but what I will say is that I think there's merit, but I think your point is true. You know that thing about positive fantasies? It's like that notion, it's like I feel just good enough that I recorded my dream on my, I don't know, spreadsheet or in my
Vision
little
board.
pretty journal, and it gives me just enough of a lift to feel like, I'm good for today. And
Yeah.
I think that the road, you know how the road to hell paved with good intentions? I think that the road to the grave is paved with brimmingly full bucket lists that people have had these pseudo satisfactory ideas that I'm going to go to Prague, but then
Yeah.
they don't make a plan to go to Prague and then they die not going to Prague. And then it just felt what, good to write it down?
Yeah. Felt really good to write down because you took it seriously. You took finite time seriously and you thought really carefully about what would complete your life. I think also the framing of things in these bucket list exercises might be critical, right?
Oh,
So,
interesting.
Jody, I know you're the expert on this, even though, you're not necessarily you're only willing to pee on bucket lists, not poo on bucket lists, according to a phrase now I think I've guaranteed you can't cut out of the episode.
You just baked
Uh,
that in.
yeah, right. But I have been doing some poking around, and I do have some thoughts on this now that I've done some research, my own research, looking into it. I didn't conduct any research. I just read other people's research, but I want to know what you think. Like, so yeah, so there's the risk that people are just doing these to feel better, to placate themselves, to soothe their emotions, to make them feel like they did a profound act
Yeah,
when it seems like they maybe didn't. Is that am I capturing your insights correctly?
I think you're capturing so much of the essence. I think that there's a part B to it as well, which I'd like your input on,
Mm,
which is let's imagine a reality where we are living life with such gusto, whatever that means for us, right? So it doesn't have to mean, when I say gusto, it doesn't have to mean that it's like full of all the crazy like travels and parties and things. It doesn't need to be like that. But living a life that you love, it would render the bucket list pointless because we would feel like if hypothetically we were, as you plan to die, killed by a meteor,
mm,
you'd be like, I put it all out there. Like I killed it while I was here. I didn't need to record stuff. And maybe you would have a list of things for consideration. Like, oh yeah, the next time I travel, it would be neat to maybe consider Prague. But I do believe that it reveals how we maybe aren't living with full integrity and this whole like living like we mean it thing. And so I find that that's another way of looking at it. And that's the most uncomfortable part, I think. It's not so much that we record
mm,
things and feel good in the moment and then let it squander. I think it's also like, oh, honey, are we busted because it shows we're not living now? We're going
yeah.
to basically admit to living later.
So yeah. Well, one message I could pull from that then is like if you're living a boring, ungusto-y life, maybe a bucket list is more useful for you than someone who's already living a full, interesting, meaningful, rich life.
Interesting. Uh, yes. And I don't want it to sound like judgment that boring people can fill out the bucket list template, but the rest of
I don't
us
mean. I guess I should say I don't mean boring people. Maybe just bored people.
bored. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. It's an
bored people. Now,
important
that's not judgy, right? It's
distinction.
like people who are themselves are reacting to their lives as if there's not enough there.
Great point. Yeah, so
Thank
I
you.
think that's where that that's where there's a nudge. Is
Yeah.
that if I acknowledge, but then that should still be intel. Like if you're feeling like, wow, I really want to capture stuff to do, let that be the light bulb that goes off to say,
Yeah.
is there room for more living now?
Well, you've been in this, speaking in this space and writing this space. You must hear people tell you stories about
Mhm.
how your work has inspired them, how
Mm.
it's nudged them out of complacency and into gusto, gust, gustoed them unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so, like, do people tell you that, you know, I decided what I really needed to do was, go and see the pyramids for real. That's really mine, right? Like, I think, we can get to that more in a longer episode, but like, yeah, that was one thing I realized, like, yeah, I feel like that would be a little poopy if I didn't go to see the pyramids, right? So let's say like, yeah, after realizing how few Mondays I have left, after realizing that, you know, as the saying goes, everyone dies, but not everyone lives, right? Like all those sorts of ideas, like that would be a sign that I'm alive, which is actually I don't mean to answer my own question, but like this idea that like bucket lists tell you you're really living if you do them or something. But anyway, like we
Yeah.
can't get into that. We can only get into what stories have you heard?
What's juicy? What's out there? Okay. I received an email just last week from a woman who moved her family to the East Coast. She was not living on the East Coast, but that was a big thing that they wanted to do. And she's so delighted that they did it. I don't know why she wanted to do it. I'm not going to question her. I will not question anyone's dreams, but that was the
Right.
thing.
She always
Um,
wanted to live in Delaware. I mean, who doesn't?
it's the dream.
Yeah.
It's the Delaware dream. That's their marketing
Delaware
campaign
dream
soon to come
on their
out.
license plate.
um, there was a recent response from a reader. So I do a blog every Monday, and someone responded back by talking about how they planned a family reunion, and it was in the
Mm,
Scottish Highlands because they did all the whole 23andMe thing, and they made that whole thing happen. And they were going to wait until they retired. And here's the cool part: is they didn't. They and they didn't wait is the point. And so that was an excellent example of someone going for this thing. Um, Admittedly, like when it comes to there's consistency around bucket list research. Like most people for their bucket list item, it does revolve around travel initially. It
mhm.
revolves around accomplishment of a personal goal. And
Uh,
so a lot of people will be like, I did like the triathlon. And sometimes it's even signing up for it, which I love because that's the gesture. It's like you showed you gave a care. And so I do hear from a lot of people who've like committed to applying for the school, right? Like,
yeah,
woohoo, I applied for grad school. Like, good for you. We don't know what's going to happen, but good for you because you did it.
yeah.
Or I went and I registered online for that, art program or the writer's workshop at the Iowa, blah, blah, blah. So I hear so much about it, and clearly I'm
Oh,
not
that one.
excited about it at all.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I know the study you're talking about,
Do you?
Mrs. Wellman. Yeah. Periacoli et al., 2018, Journal of Palliative Medicine. Common items on bucket lists.
Yes.
That, that's a real thing, right?
Okay.
These are
Yeah.
over 3,000 U.S. internet respondents
Yeah.
from 2015. That's a long time ago. But yeah,
Mhm.
desire to travel is number one, especially among college-educated
Among
women.
Huh.
Yeah, so maybe having a travel bucket list is a good way to meet college-educated women. Um, we'll talk about dating later, obviously, in another one. Accomplish a personal goal,
Yeah.
78.3%. Number
Yeah.
two, very close. But I was looking at some of these goals.
Yeah. Like what?
Acquire a master's degree, fly on a private jet,
Mm.
bucket list item, become a
Mhm.
tycoon.
Right?
Like, I don't know what century these people are living in, but they're going to become a tycoon and drive a Porsche, and then you can die. Happy that you've led a fulfilling life because you got into Porsche. I mean, I'm not making fun of like if a Porsche seems fantastic for some reason to somebody, but like a lot of
Yeah.
these also are travel or very materialistic and unlikely to lead to any kind of sense of fulfillment,
Oh,
right?
okay. See,
So
that comes from you. That comes from Meaning Man. And I love that you're
yeah,
going here because
yeah,
I do
describe
number.
these dreams: one Porsche, private jet, an official tycoon member badge at a time.
You because that's what you do get the badge when you become one. It's
Yeah,
a very exclusive membership.
super exclusive.
I do feel the need right now to put our friendship at risk. I don't want to become a tycoon.
This is after you said I don't no one wants to talk to me. right?
Well, I just thought I was stating the obvious. So it's just not like anything new.
Just a
Okay.
texting friendship, everyone. Yeah, 'cause she doesn't. You can't actually stand to talk to me.
No, I think you're the best. I have a very sketchy bucket list, as discussed before, because I feel like, I don't know, I'm living now. But what I will say, I have notions.
Yeah.
And one of the things is be on a private jet. So it's funny you mentioned that one because that is an example. But now that does not define me. It's not like if I can be on the PJ, call it a day. Like take me down. I can like dash the
I
private
mean,
jet because the
are you
best is
just
it.
gonna have like an orgy on there or something with your favorite musician or something, like, or a
You took
family
that
reunion on
dark.
a private jet, or
No,
cure
it's
cancer on a private jet? I mean, like, what are you doing? You can't even stand up. As far as I understand it, I've not been on one, but you can't even stand up on
yeah,
private jet. Like, it's just so
yeah.
short. You have to crawl to the bathroom, which
My understanding.
I do if I drink too much. I'm kidding. I don't do that anymore. True
My
story.
understanding is that there is champagne, there's candy, and I just like the idea of it. And
It's like a
allow me
wedding
to
at
now
it's
defend
like a
on
wedding
behalf.
where children are invited. Perfect. Who doesn't love going to a stranger's wedding? Proceed though. I don't mean to poop on your
I'm gonna
kids.
proceed
I'm just gonna
boldly.
pee on them. Yeah.
Okay. Here's where I think a lot of people will
Yeah.
be reductive and then say, this therefore means that you are shallow. When I could say, this is one of a million musings I have. Like, I am a very
Right.
zesty person. I want to do a billion things, of which on my bucket list, by the way, because I will insert here, I have a friend who feels very anti bucket list. She thinks it's an indication of privilege and it's all about people that are at the top of the hierarchy of needs and that we all just like, all we want to do is go and have like private jet fun. And
That's it.
I want to say it's also conceivable that on a hypothetical list, I could also want to do a Habitat for Humanity thing. I could
You
also
could.
want to shepherd a young child into a better way of living through education. So all I'm getting at is that it doesn't
Yeah.
need to be just
Well,
frothy.
one of the things I found to be quite interesting is that there seems to be two types of journals where this research is published. Number one, Journal of Palliative Medicine, right? Like, so people who are dealing with those folks where pain management, hospice care, comfort on the way out the door
Yeah.
is primary concern. Other journals about death, there's a study in the journal Mortality I can tell you about. We don't really have enough time, but I will say, and then there's the other one, which is tourism research. Tons of this stuff gets published in tourism journals, which should make us be curious at the very least, right? So it does seem like it's a marketing gold mine for tourism because travel shows up all the time. There's one from tourism research. They looked at people, they could capture from social media. So it's not fantastic, but like number one, unlike the first study where 90% or something like that said they had a bucket list, especially religious people, right? Which is interesting. Um, in this tourism research study, only 52% said that they had a bucket list. So Facebook regular people, Reddit regular people. And number one was travel the world. Number two was learn a different language. Number three was fall in love. Number four was throw a dart on a map and go wherever it lands. Number five was climb a mountain. Learn to play a musical instrument. Number G, I lost track, was donate a sum of money to charity. I was like, come on. Oh, I had funny little things to say. So for throw a dart on a map and go wherever it lands, my funny thing to say is probably in the middle of the ocean. Like, this is how
Oh.
bad at geography we are. Most of throw a dart, you're going to drown yourself. Climb a mountain, define mountain. Haha, right? Donate a sum of money to charity. Why haven't you already done that? I'm like just losing my mind, right? Publish a book, ride in a hot air balloon, comes above, publish a book, and then come swim with swim with dolphins. Like, is anyone asking the poor dolphins? Plant a tree again. Why have they not done this yet? Number L, donate blood. I mean, it starts to seem like a joke. Like,
You do it today.
there's one number M, tie my shoes, wipe my butt. I mean, like, then finally win a lottery jackpot, run a marathon, and become famous. But travel
Yeah.
wins. blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of things that kind of turn the dial up that I want to hit before we wrap it up here. Number one of the studies was from students at 3 different universities, including a historically Black college university, a large state school, and a smaller private school. The students were taking death and dying courses in sociology and psychology, right? So people were thinking about it a little bit more.
Mhm.
Number one on their list was not private jet. It was not travel. It was altruistic activities,
Mhm.
right? So as a class assignment, maybe they're trying to impress the teacher. They're not like, yeah,
Hmm.
I want to be like Jodi and have like a crazy orgy in the sky with Pitbull and, like Katy Perry. I don't know, right? But
I was
I
thinking
can't remember
Sour
what you
Patch
said.
Kids, but
I
that's
can't remember
fine.
what you said, Jodi, right? But or travel to Pensacola, Florida, right? So all these important things other people list on theirs, but travel did come second, and thrill experiences came third, and then end of life or death preparation activities came 14th. I assume this means self-embalming, but I'm not really sure. Family bonding shows up eventually, religious spiritual activities. So people who are like thinking about this stuff seem to write a slightly different list. And this dovetails with another interesting study that I want to tell you about. This one's by Chu et al. In geropsychology, so psychology of aging. They had a bunch of different studies. The outcomes are a little bit warped, but basically they said, what's on your bucket list? Generate 5 to 20 items. In condition one, they said, that's it. In condition two, they said 6 months to live. In condition three, they said, imagine you have 1 week to live. So what changed? And they only had 3 categories. This makes this aggravating study to read. But when time was no object, self-concept was the most important thematic category of what people did, right?
What do you mean?
Like, self-improvement, self-knowledge. That's why we travel. That's why we do thrill activities, stuff like that.
Mm, 'kay.
Number two was knowledge about the world, like learn a new language, take a cooking lesson from a chef in Rome, whatever. And then emotional stuff was last, like some sort of emotionally impactful experience. But when you start giving them time limits, emotion rockets to the top. They want an emotional experience that can involve family, that
Mm,
can involve intimacy, right? So the
mhm.
intimacy rises and the self improvement, exploration falls.
Right.
That gets us to the final study, the one that's going to make you cry.
Okay, I'm ready. Hang on.
Yeah. This is a scoping review. Yeah, good. Fulfilling end of life dreams. A scoping review of bucket lists in palliative and hospice care. This is by Handik, 2025, very recent in the journal
Mhm.
Palliative and Supportive Care. They identified 2,234 studies, but only 11 were relevant. That's a painful lit review. I'm telling you from personal experience.
Yeah, eliminate the tourism journals.
Yeah. So this is of kids mostly
Mm,
who are dying children. This is when
mm.
you cry. 6 studies reported improvements in overall well-being through wish fulfillment programs for the
Mhm.
participants. This is like Make-A-Wish stuff,
Yeah.
right? So these little dying kids, 70% increased positive emotions, 34% reduced stress, 37% formed positive and enduring memories. I have a note to myself in the dying kids or the families, double check. I did not. That's from Schilling and Sarajani, 2014. Elevated levels of hope, positive emotions, health-related quality of life, decrease in nausea among the kids, the patients, increase in gratitude and awareness of social support. Mothers reported that they saw positive changes in their children. That's Chavez, 2016. Immediate positive impact on children's energy levels. Decreased parental stress about the child's disease progression. Darlington, 2013. And in Patel 2019, they found reduced healthcare utilization, fewer unplanned hospital admissions, and fewer emergency department visits in the patients because not only did they have a bucket list item, but they got to do it.
Oh, oh. So the
Big shrug, existential shrug there. What does that mean?
yeah. I think the difference between all of that and what we were talking about earlier was even the completion. Now,
Yeah.
there's a lot of poignancy in what you're talking about with especially the kids dying,
Yeah.
and so that obviously will just skirt by pretty quickly. But I will say, is it the act of checking a box? Because that is a vote to say, I am treating my life like it is this precious gift, and I'm going to do it. And look at me, I did it, whatever that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how much of it? I mean, there's clearly a lot of this stuff is altruistic. It's the good stuff. It's the meaty stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the message I took for the regular person who's not going to think very deeply about it, tourism wins. I think they market the idea of a bucket list, and then we say the things that marketing tells us to say, right? Like private jet, travel, luxury experiences, driving a Porsche, throwing a Louis Vuitton handbag in the dumpster just because you can,
I just
lighting
love
your
how like not judgmental you are at all. It's just one
lighting
of the
your
best
lighting your
qualities about
fat cigar with $100 bill, whatever. Throwing pennies to orphans to watch them fight to the death for it. I don't really know that's what marketers tell us. That's not what you think or I think. That's what marketers want us to think. I'm sure of it. Buying sex bots by the dozens, taking them on your private jet trip, whatever it is, right? So, like, I think it pushes towards a kind of a consumeristic, materialistic trade-off. Okay, I'll
it.
do this thing that they said is part of the good life, and then I'll have a good life, and I want to have the good life before I'm dead. If we think more deeply about death and dying because we're in a death and dying class, or because we think our time is literally limited at this point, then I think some different concerns come to the fore, a little bit more giving. Like I want to make that positive difference in life. And if we're just a little kid and we haven't really filled our identity out, and we know that our time is limited and our families around us and want to give us one last thing, and we can make a wish and we get to do it, that does tell us we did something of the life that we dreamed for ourselves. And maybe in those cases, a bucket list is important. So think about it for real, like we try to help you do on this podcast. Figure out what is the life that you want to fulfill that will feel great, feel like you, feel big and meaningful. And then what? Do it. There you had it, a quickie with Mike and Jodi.
Oh.
Thanks for joining us on This Could Be It. Jodi,
Make a wish, baby.
make a wish.